odd for this one to be as drawn out as it appears to be.
Yes, it is. Number 9, number 10 on our Season 2 leaderboard. So this is a nice high-profile matchup. There's an Ordeal of Thassa. Heroic Trigger as we join this one in progress. The boss is at 2. Boswell's at 17. And it looks like the boss needs a little help with the card drawing. Not a great game to walk into here if you're a Tom Ross fan.
It's not looking good, assuming that our light totals are correct.
It looks like Boswell might have a spell to play too. Yikes. Here's 3 mana. Yep. There's your hero's downfall. This game's over. Okay. Tom's last card in hand is a stubborn now that he can't cast with Ferocious. So that makes things pretty easy. Andrew Boswell is going to win game number 1 here over Tom Boss Ross. Obs on aggro up a game over Banter Rogue. This round number 9 of coverage has a very Obs on aggro feel to it.
Yeah, surprising because the talk so far has been about Den Protectors and Esper Dragons, and a lot of Obs on aggro here to wrap up the day.
We'll take a look at the boss's sideboard where you'll find a Stubborn Denial, 2 copies of Treasure Cruise, an Ordeal of Heliod, an Aqueous Form, 2 Encased in Ice, 2 Glare of Heresy, 2 Disdainful Stroke, a Gainsay, a Monastery Mentor, and a Ajani's Presence, and the Island.
Big fan of Ajani's Presence, Monastery Mentor, the Glare of Heresies, and the Encased in Ice. I don't know if the matchup goes on quite long enough for Treasure Cruise to be a player here. I'd be surprised if Tom took out his main deck copy, bring in the additional copies I'm a little skeptical of. But possibly if Tom's anticipating the Boswell sideboard is mostly going to be removal, he could bring in the extra card drawers. I think Stubborn Denial style in the matchup too. Boswell will allow 2 and 3 mana removal spells.
What do we see on the other side?
2 copies of Duress, 2 copies of Nissa Worldwaker, 2 copies of Valorous Stance, and Ajani Mentor of Heroes, 2 copies of Ultimate Price, 3 Drowned Sorrow, and Ajani Steadfast, 2 copies of Hunt the Hunter. Very good sideboard here for Boswell in the matchup. 2 copies of Ultimate Price, 2 copies of Valorous Stance, and 2 copies of Duress should do very good work here.
Fair enough. We will see how these players do elect to sideboard and get ready for game number 2. This is a nice, fun little matchup. I like both these guys. We get to see them in a lot of tournaments.
Good way to close out the day, I hope. You know, X and 3 ends up being good because, you know, one of these two have to lose the match. But we shall see. Not necessarily a lot writing on this for Season 2 purposes. Tom and Boswell very far behind, but of course, at large bids for the end of the year, these two should be in the thick of it.
Tom was there last year at the Players' Championship, of course, and the Boz was one of the players on the outside looking in. He made a run at it during Season 4 last year, but came up short.
It was a half-hearted effort. You know, if he was driving for the full 12 months trying to get to the Players' Championship, I'm sure he would have. I think he might have been a little bit surprised himself how many points he accumulated by the end. Trying to make a run at it, fell a little bit short, but off to a pretty good start right now in 2015.
Well, one thing we have not talked about this weekend, the changes to the Star City Games buy list, something I know you're actually quite familiar with, and I'm glad it finally happened.
Yeah, this was a much-needed update to the website, as the old buy list was basically control effing through the cards and finding the right conditions, finding foil, non-foil, what have you. Very complicated. The new buy list at StarCityGames.com, much easier. You can just search for card names set by condition, foil, non-foil, whatever language you want. It's also much easier to sell your cards because you can just mail in your cards with the buy list printout or drop it off at the dealer booth at any of these opens rather than wait in line or wait for Star City to have to look up your order when you mail it in. Head over to StarCityGames.com/buy-list to check it out. You have to be registered for the website to be able to look at the buy list, but that's very easy to do and something you should be doing anyway if buying and selling cards with Star City Games is something you're interested in.
Finally made life easier. So that's good.
I can tell that it took a while to get this done because the buy list now is very, very good. It's very thorough, easy to use, easy to navigate, integrates very nicely with both the website and the dealer booth that we have at all these opens and Grand Prix.
Game number 2 going to be underway here in just a moment between Tom Ross and the Boz. The Boz does not look interested in playing. Look at that.
Yeah, I think he's just falling asleep, it
just
looks like.
Head down.
Passed out, maybe.
Doesn't even care. He's back. I was surprised by the...
Afflicted with just crippling ennui right now, something I'm quite familiar with.
I don't even know what you just said.
It's like a intellectual exhaustion. Sometimes the weight of the world is just too much, and even in the middle of a feature match playing for day 2, you just have to put your head down for a little while and gather yourself. I can sympathize.
Okay. All right. Boss had to take a moment there. I understand.
Yeah.
For those of you who've never met Andrew Boswell, he is just awesome.
He is great.
He is really just
He is great.
the most awesome guy ever.
One of the people that I'm most happy that I got to meet through my work on the SCG Open Series.
Yes. He is one of the reasons I love Magic, because I would have never met that guy otherwise.
Exactly.
He's a potter, so I would just never meet him because I just don't have any interest in that whatsoever. And my life has been positively impacted by getting to meet him. I actually can say the same about Tom Ross, too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and two people that I don't think as you mentioned, I don't think the circumstances of my life would have allowed me to meet these people without Magic.
No. I'm a little disappointed in Boswell having the hoodie on today.
It's cold out there, man.
It must be. It really must be if he's sleeved up this weekend. Now, the boss, he's always got the leather jacket on, so that's no surprise. See, him wearing that is not indicative of how cold it is. It's just classic Tom.
Exactly.
As his favorite hoplite, another classic Tom Ross play. Landing more waste here for Boswell. The turn 2 play is a Fleeceman line. Have to take one to cast it. We'll go the boss's way.
Already a good sign, though, for Tom that he was able to untap with something. Usually the Abzan aggro deck is still trying to mostly win the game with removal. It's not quite as redundant as the Abzan control decks, but getting to untap and potentially make something big and protect it, that's what Tom's trying to do.
Yeah, it looks like Tom has a better start here, too. No, we joined the last game in progress, but it was a shellacking when we joined it. Didn't really look like Tom was ever in it. He's going to sacrifice his Windswept Heath and decide what land to get. He looks a little unsure of himself here. And this is part of the decision-making that goes with this deck.
Well, his hand is full of cheap blue and white cards, and Tom can't be totally certain that he doesn't need more white mana, but if it's convenient, he would like to get green, so in the event he draws Drogoka's Command, he has access to it.
Yep, and Drogoka's Command is so powerful that he is going to search up the forest right now.
Especially with Boswell on the draw, Drogoka's Command is a pretty big prize.
Hero of Iroas, Encase in Ice.
Okay.
And Gift of Beatdowns. And we don't see Encase in Ice very often. Boswell's going to take a look. We can do the same.
Encase in Ice for 1 mana because of Hero of Iroas is delightful.
That is really, that is just a good turn.
I had not seen that before.
Well, Tom knows how that deck works. Got Flash, too. What doesn't it do?
Can't use it with the Flash because, got to get in for 1.
Yep, Boss going to take a look again. So, you kidding me?
This does mean Drogoka's Command is very good if Boswell has it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. This thing's going to turn around a little bit here, huh? Kill your creature, sacrifice an enchantment.
It's not a bad turn.
Turn my Fleece main line back on, thanks. Drogoka's Command is a hell of a card. I'll tell you what.
It definitely has spots of being pretty sweet.
One more time. Looks like the boss is going to take 1. There is the command. There goes Hero of Iroas. And sacrifice Encase in Ice. So as good as a turn it was for Tom, it took 1 spell for Boswell to take care of all of it.
Yep.
And now here's a Temple of Silence.
2 cards in Tom's entire previous turn.
Yep.
I mean, Tom still gets the 1 point of damage for his trouble. Gets to keep that, but...
He's got some more work to do.
Yep.
That's for sure. Drogoka's Command just destroyed his board. In for 1. There's a Plains. Battle-Wise Hoplite, Glare of Heresy, kill your creature, kick it back. He could run to a real roadblock this turn, though. Depends on what Boswell has. Drew a copy of Hero's Downfall. Hiya! Kill the Battle-Wise Hoplite. Sandsep Citadel, kick it over to the boss.
Ban Heroic does not thrive as a 1/1 for 1 plus removal spell sort of deck, and that's what Tom's draw has ushered up thus far.
And you see Tom's had Ordeal of Thassa in his hand for a little while, and what I think he's trying to do is he wants to be able to play Ordeal of Thassa and have himself draw the cards all in 1 turn.
He wants to get it right away. It's very risky, but his hand's not really letting him do anything else.
A card like Defiant Strike there would be a great draw because then he'd be able to get all his cards and do all the stuff that he wants to do, but it just has not materialized that way. That's why you've seen him hold it for so long. Given his draw step a favorite hoplite that past turn, he says, all right, I don't have much of a choice. I just have to kind of do my thing now and hope that it works out.
And Boswell's hand, you know, is flush removal. He's just picked up an ultimate price. He's got Hero's Downfall as well.
Yep.
And Tom was hoping against Hopler that he would be able to get to that attack next turn, but it's very unlikely against Abzan aggro post board.
I think the draw this turn was a copy of Jamoka's command. It is.
I mean, sure, this is, you know, I don't think Tom can let Boswell untap, so.
Nope. This is the kind of exchange he has to make. He's going to fight the Rashasha Death Dealer, which will trigger Heroic, and also put a +1/+1 counter on his creature. So favorite Hoplite becomes a 3-power creature. Boswell's down to 10. And for Tom, he's just going to run off a string of good cards here, I think. I think that's all that he can do. Here's Downfall is going to really make things tough on him, though.
And you can tell Tom knows he's just in a world of trouble. His mannerisms, he's just throwing his cards in the graveyard pretty casually. His draw was what it was. He took some risks here, and now he knows that the writing's kind of on the wall at this stage.
Yep. Well, there are cards that can get him back into this thing. Treasure Cruise is certainly one of them.
That's a big one. Well, I don't know how many are in his list at this point. He has one in the main deck, 2 in the board. It would be if there's going to be any card, that's got to be it.
Yep. But Boswell has had timely removal spells and a timely Jamoka's command. Has made life very difficult for the Ross. Draw a card. Another favorite Hoplite, pass the turn back. Tasker is a lot better than that card, though.
Nice.
Some of the draw steps can be humbling for Heroic.
Yeah. Oh, I play decks like this all the time.
I know you
don't
do.
have to tell me.
I know you do. Here comes Tasker. That's Anafenza. Pass the turn back. Ross will draw. I believe it was a copy of Jamoka's command, but it's just not great in this situation. So Boswell's going to untap, and now he'll draw. There's a Windswept Teeth. We're going to the red zone, trigger Anafenza. That was just a healthy attack for 9. That's the thing I really like about this Abzan aggro deck. Something I've always really liked about it. Those creatures are huge.
They are. They're really good deals.
Yeah. Here's Jamoka's command.
I think Boswell going to respond to this potentially with a Tassiker activation.
See if he can get his command back.
Yeah. Because that should about do it.
Yep.
I think at that point, even Treasure Cruise and stringing together some perfect cards is not going to be enough for Tom.
Yeah. Does it break the way Boswell would like it to? Land's what he's looking for.
Ultimate Price would play here, too.
There's Plains and a Thoughtseize. The discard spell is going back to pause. Tom Kesley just say, yeah, you can take that. Here's the fight. Little pump action. Now he gets the block. So he gets to be Tasker in combat.
Exactly, because favorite Hoplite says prevent all damage.
Yep.
So both the fight and the block inside of combat are all prevented.
Tom had to take 4 from Anafenza. And Boss does not get to play as Permass post-combat. So this is nice. And no exiling necessary. You take a look here. Make sure everything is kosher, which it is.
Yeah, Tom deals 3 damage to Tassiker twice, and all of it's prevented on the other side.
Oh, somebody's feeling a little frisky. Coming in the red zone. Not sure what Tom's draw is, but then again, you know.
Probably a land if he's attacking, because if
Yeah.
he drew a spell, if he drew some sort of trick, he's on defense trying to go to Andrew into attack.
Yeah. Not going to win by holding back.
Nope.
Here comes Anafenza. 7-6 in favor of the boss. Bermaz. Pass the turn back.
I love all the legendary creatures that are in Boswell's decks. It makes the deck pretty fun. I also love the lack of synergy between Anafenza and Bermaz to that end.
This is a good draw by Tom.
Oh, Glaire's big.
Yeah. Kill that.
I mean,
Attack for 3 more. Put you to 3.
Tom is winning the race.
Yes, he is. Anafenza might have to hold back on D. What's Boswell draw? Ugh.
Ugh.
Jamoka's command.
It's a good one.
Typically is.
I think that Boswell is now thinking, is Jamoka's command so good if it resolves here that I can afford to Thoughtseize you to ensure the coast is clear?
Yep.
And I think that's what he's concluding.
Yep. He's willing to go to 1.
Because it's just so good if this resolves.
Command. +1/+1 in fights. Yes. In for 5. Tom Ross, you're going to need to draw a good card now. What did you draw? nothing. An extension of the hand. Andrew Boswell's going to win this match here over Tom the Boss Ross. 2-0. Hobbs on aggro. Takes down Bant Heroic. The Boss, well, he's for sure into day number 2 with Hobbs on aggro. He's 7-2. For the Boss, he needs 6-3 to be good. We'll see what the 64th place record is.
Tom